Hey everyone, I'm excited to share another Virtuance client success story with you today. I am talking to Logan Abrams of Realty One Group Revolution in the Charlotte area. Logan's incredible. Can't wait for you guys to just hear his story about how he came into real estate and all of the successes that he's had, including how Virtuance has helped him achieve that success as well. And with that, let's go ahead and let Logan share his story. So, just getting started, if you wouldn't mind just sharing a little bit about yourself and your journey in real estate, how you got started to where you are now, just as a brief introduction to who you are.
Sure. Yeah. I started in real estate almost 19 years ago now, and in Charlotte, North Carolina, and got out of public accounting to get into real estate. And now I'm the part owner and managing broker of three Realty One offices here around Charlotte. We've got about 75 to 80 agents under management, and just left Remax earlier this year, and I'd been there for almost 12 years. It was a good run at Remax, and looked for something a little bit newer and exciting, and a little bit more of a challenge in growing three offices with a much younger and fresher brand than I was at before. So yeah, just excited for the opportunity and to continue to help buyers and sellers, throughout Charlotte with their journey. I've always taken a real approach of, that I'm their advisor, their representative, their consultant. Sometimes they're therapist, but I don't take a very salesy approach in what I do. It's more relationship based selling versus actual selling of houses or marketing or scripts or any of that sort of stuff.
Wow, what a run. How amazing
Yeah.
that is. So when you talk about just these relationships you've been building and just the success you've had in the real estate industry, what would you say have been some of your key almost key secrets to your success that you think have got you to where you are now?
I think a lot of the key secrets are just, I treat every client not only like, it's myself or someone that I've known for a really long time, but I treat every client as if I expect them to send referrals my way in the future. So it's not just an individual transaction. I don't look at it like that, but I'm building a relationship with these people that, if their friends or family members or coworkers are moving in the area, that I expect them to want to refer me, based on the services that I give, the advice, the approach that I take in not selling anybody on a house that's not right for them, but just, being their advisor and their consultant throughout the process, and really just taking a more professional approach to it. It's not, I don't look at it as, oh, these are my clients for the next 6 months. Once you've worked with me once, I invite these people to a lot of events throughout the year. I like face-to-face events instead of marketing type stuff. I think that's something that's kind of been lost in the last 5 or 10 years as it becomes more of a lead generation transactional business.
Mhm.
But real estate to me, just in general, should be a relationship type business. If I ever have to sell somebody on the house, then I just tell them it's not the right house for them.
How awesome. So when we talk about kind of flipping gears a little bit, and we talk about you just helping someone to sell their house, what were before using Virtuance, what was your previous real estate photography and visual marketing solution?
Certainly, yeah. So I've actually been doing professional photography and virtual tours since I started in January of 2005. I've always, known the magnitude and importance of professional photography since the day I got into real estate. Now, back then, we were only allowed to post 8 pictures in our MLS, which I always thought was ridiculous, and I still do today. I think it adds a level of professionalism to my listings that says, hey, look, my professional photographer can be here in a couple of days, and then I'll take them through how to get the house ready for pictures. And so I look at my job as, hey, we need to do some window dressing here to get the house ready for the photographer that's coming in 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
So if my job is to sell your house again, then I've got to make it look best where the most buyers are. The majority of buyers are looking online. That's been the same for the last 20 years. Therefore, my job is to make it look the best online, and professional photography is still the number one aspect of that. Yeah, you can add the bells and whistles of, virtual tours or video tours or all that sort of stuff. But, the still photography at really high HD quality, I still think is the best way to showcase a home, even 20 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Is photography is really just that foundational element to marketing any listing, and the 3D tours and floor plans are all amazing tools to add on to that. But you have to know it's like, yeah, we still love the 3D tours. We love the floor plans and adding all of those bells and whistles. And they're really great pieces to have to your marketing. But at the foundation of it, that photography has to be done. And it has to
Yeah.
be done in a professional way so that you're capturing more attention. So I love that.
And getting
On
into the business as a new agent, what an easy way it was for me to separate myself in 2005 by saying every single one of my listings comes with professional photography in a virtual tour. That was an easy way to separate myself from it. It's just not that expensive of a proposition when you're selling hundreds of thousands of dollars of houses. You're spending a couple $100 on photography.
Yeah.
It's a drop in the bucket. It looks amazing. Even myself, when I went to sell one of my houses years ago, my wife at the time said, it looks so good in the photography that then she didn't want to move. And that should be the goal every time, is that the seller's house looks so great that it makes them take a second guess. They're like, man, are we really, man, we love this house,
Yeah.
but that's how you want to present the house, especially online, to another buyer. And then they schedule appointments. Then they come look at the house. Then the house has got to look the same as it did in the pictures, which is the hard part for the sellers, keeping it looking like that. And then that's how people get interested in the house. But without that bait, without those pictures, you're never getting a bite.
You obviously started in 2005. Virtuance came to light in 2010. So I want to talk about maybe just some challenges that you were facing prior to working with Virtuance, and then how Virtuance has helped you overcome some of those challenges when it comes to, the marketing you're using for your listings.
Certainly, yeah. So I would say when it comes to Virtuance helping me with my business, there's probably two main factors that have really, I think, separated Virtuance and why I've been such a customer for such a long time. I've done dozens of virtual or video and photography each year for I have no idea how many years here, but a lot of years. And it's definitely the platform I've been with the longest of any that I've used. And those two things that make my business easy for me is, one is the ease of scheduling and getting the virtual tour set up, right? And that goes hand in hand with, I've got one or two photographers on the platform that I really enjoy using. And so I can very easily see their availability, how that coincides with the availability of the listing, what day we're trying to go live. So all that whole setup, which is not just the scheduling, but it's going online, easily scheduling the photography with, I don't know, maybe it takes me 3 minutes to set it up. I know the exact day and time of the shoot. I know exactly who my photographer is and when I'm meeting them there. And then now we've built a great rapport of they know that I'm going to have the house ready, and here's the kind of shots that I like taking. And so that's worked out really well. I've used, I think, predominantly the same two people for at least the last 5 years. And so that setup there at the beginning is really good, really easy to use, very professional. The sellers understand when they're going to be there. That all just, it works really seamless. And then on the backside is the ease of use in the tools that are on the platform to make my job kind of post photography of getting the listing ready. Right. So I know exactly when the shoot takes place. I know that the next day I'll have the pictures ready. I know I'll get an email when they're ready to upload, and I know that I can immediately put them into MLS. Then I know that all the links will be properly, set up. My MLS takes a different link for a branded and an unbranded tour. It's easy to just copy and paste. And so the seamless integration of that, plus then I add the MLS number once it's inputted back to the Virtuance site, and then get, double the marketing efforts there through another kind of link that's going to carry the same listing. So I mean, now that is just so seamless of a transition for me from, somebody calls me today and says they want to list their house. next Thursday, let's say they wanted to go on the market. Great. I'll go on the Virtuance website today. I'll set the shoot up for Monday or Tuesday of next week. I know I'll have the pictures back the next day. I know then I can put them on MLS, and it just, that all makes it so, easy and simplistic.
And I want to touch on something you brought up. So you mentioned you work with two preferred photographers. So yes, you can select your preferred photographers, which is awesome, especially when you talk about being in a relationship-based industry and how all relationships are important, including not just your clients, but including those with your vendors. So I want to ask, since you have used two different Virtuance photographers, have you noticed any differences in quality or how the shoot is captured, or do you notice everything is pretty consistent across the board, no matter who you use?
I've noticed that regardless of who the photographer is, the shoot comes out the same. Actually, that's a good point to bring up. Is that before I had just a list of two or three local photographers who did great work, but it seemed like real estate photography was like what they did when they weren't shooting like a wedding on the weekend or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And so they just did real estate photography to sort of fill up, kind of an empty part of their business. And they were great. They had high quality cameras, but the availability, I'd have to text or call all of them to schedule something. Where I love now, so I just go on the website and just see who's available the day and time that the sellers want, because to me it's more up to when the house is going to be ready, when I can get there, when we can all come together and do this. If I need someone Thursday morning at 10 a.m., if one of the two people I use the most aren't available, I can just click on whoever's available, and I've never had a problem with them not showing up. They've always been extremely professional, know what they're doing, use the same cameras, and so yeah, before when I was using three different people or three different companies, there would be a variance in the quality and the production value of the photos, like sort of post shoot production, I guess, whether they're cleaning them up or what they're doing to them. And then also there's a variabilities on like timeline of when they're delivering that.
So I want to know from your perspective if you've noticed any like quantifiable changes in your business. So have you noticed by using Virtuance's photography that your listings are selling faster, or you're getting more money out of your listings because of how you're marketing them?
I can tell you hands down that in neighborhoods where I have a listing and then two or three doors down, another agent has a listing that is not using Virtuance, is not using the same quality photography, that I can tell you hands down that I am getting more showings, which results in more offers and a better price for my sellers 100% of the time. So this business is about marketing, but that marketing has to translate into showings in order for you to sell the house. So yes, whether I was at Realty One or at Remax, my level of pictures and my quality of listing has certainly created more showings for my sellers than people that are not using this same level of photography.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
two quick rapid fire questions. One,
Go.
what are your favorite features and enhancements that Virtuance offers?
I think my favorite features and enhancement that Virtuance offer would be some of the additional types of photography. I use like the neighborhood photography one quite a bit. A lot of these master plan communities have massive swim and tennis complex with lazy rivers and this sort of stuff. So capturing the essence of the neighborhood feel. And then, if you're like me and you're trying to do multiple listings in the same neighborhood or build a clientele, I mean, once you have this photography, it's pretty easy to just use them 3 months down the road on another listing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of neighborhoods where I'll do multiple houses throughout a year, but having that super high quality pictures of the neighborhood and the entrance sign, I think just helps buyers envision themselves living there and tells the story of what living in this house would be like, and which gets them to come and want to make a showing as soon as it goes live.
So last question,
Yeah.
if you had to pick one thing, what is the number one reason you would recommend Virtuance?
Quality and consistency of the pictures is unmatched in my 18, 19 years in real estate. It's not just, web photography, it's in print, it's in digital, in any of those realms. That's my number one favorite thing about, and why I continue to use Virtuance, is the consistency and quality of the images and the photography. I know exactly how it's going to be done on every listing. with probably 10 clicks on a website. And yeah, that'll keep me coming back for as long as that's true.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time.